This game's winner is Chat. Dun 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 dun. No, no. This game's winner is Yoshi. Anyway, it's Monday, December 16th, 2024. This is the Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. What's going on, everybody? I am Job. I am Job. No. I am host. I'm your host, DJ. Sorry. I'm the only host. I'm the only one here. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, if you are here on the live end of things, yeah, I took a little bit of a break to do a production meeting with NSF. But we got space news here coming in on time. Corpo, EJ. Yeah. You know, because I'm the suit and tie type, Tesla. Yeah, that's good. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's jump in and see what's going on with the news. So, at 11 a.m. this morning, 11:05 to be precise, CRS-31, the CRS-31 Dragon, after spending 41 days undocked from the space station, it is now floating around Earth, pending a deorbit burn, which... Hold on one second. What the hell's that? Oh, the guy's taking a torch to the tank there. Yeah, okay. That's Space Coast Live. I was getting very confused for a second. Anyway. So, the Dragon undocked here. It was on the forward port of the ISS right here. And it undocked from the forward port PMA-2. Well, it's not PMA-2. It's PMA-2 with IDA-2 on the front. But it undocked from there, and it should be back down. It was up there for 41 days. It's just a resupply, so it's carrying just supplies and experiments. This is the current roster for vehicles docked to the ISS. There's the Crew 9 Dragon, Cygnus 21, Soyuz MS-26, Progress 90, and Progress 89. That's all the craft currently docked up there right now. The next craft that should be going up is Crew 10. Crew 10 should be sometime in late January, I think. And Soyuz MS-27 probably sometime there soon as well. Currently up on the ISS, there's 7 people. Seven folks. Three came up on Soyuz, 2 came up on Starliner, and 2 came up on Crew Dragon. 4 are going down on Dragon, 3 are going down on Soyuz. Wait, they are gonna undock? I don't know how you got that from what I was saying, Graham, but no, they're not undocking, no. Squirrel! So that's the first bit of news. So what did we have over the weekend? Let me see. There was a Falcon 9 launch over the weekend. I just want to see which one it was. Give me one moment. Past launches. Electron launched the Stonehenge mission on Friday. That's the haste mission. That mission was suborbital. As far as I can tell, that went okay. Starlink 11.2 we covered during the Flame Trench, and actually, yeah, that was everything. There wasn't that much. All right, cool. Crew 10 is net February. Yeah, so we're probably going to see MS-27. Actually, MS-27 would be after Crew 10, Relani. Yeah. Crew 10 is going to go up, rotate off Crew 9, and then they'll rotate MS-27 after that. Yep, 27 in April. There you go. Clickbait said Polaris Dawn has been stopped by NASA. Yeah, X to doubt. You know what hasn't been stopped by NASA, though? Check this out. We got another tweet from Dave Limp. the CEO of Blue Origin, saying they are clear to complete a wet dress rehearsal this week ahead of the hot fire for New Glenn. All right. New Glenn be like, feed me, Seymour. Excellent. So this is that's actually a pretty big step. Blue Origin had previously said that they were being held up by regulatory approval. We have no idea which regulatory approval. They just said regulatory approval. And that's it. So Dave Limp. So we'll see what's going on there. But yeah, I'll be here all week. And the second I see those flare stacks turn on, we'll see what's up. They said that for the memes. I'm wholly convinced, dude. New Glenn is really, I don't know for sure, but the way this is all panning out very much seems like New Glenn has a very aggressive internal deadline of flying before 2025. Yeah, that seems to be what's going on. They're really trying to move the ball downfield, and by that, to use an American football analogy, if you're from Europe, that doesn't mean anything, or anywhere else. They're trying to launch before the end of the year. I'm pretty sure, dude. Some guy is going to town with the torch, dude. Look at this. So this is a live shot at Space Coast Live from my buddies over at NSF. Nope, get rid of chat. There we go. Dude, that guy is going to town. That is what would have been the LOX tank. See it over there at 39A? That, yeah, some guy's going to town with that thing. I just keep seeing the flashes out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, wait, what? It does got to get the ball forward on any field to score. Sure. Probably a thermal lance. If I had to guess, guys, probably an acetylene torch. It's probably an acetylene torch. Now, why it's sparking up a storm there, I don't know. Either that or he's hitting that with the world's biggest angle grinder. Torch guy pretending it's ship 26 because... Nice. Yeah, I keep seeing that. I'm like, should it be doing that? Nice, W. Good stuff. Who said pretending it's ship 26? That is so wrong. No, you're wrong. Ninja Decimator said it, so it's right. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Mama's right. Are they going to demo the tower? Jim, that remains to be seen. Personally, I think they are. I think they are going to. At first, I thought they would just move the tower over to 39A, but we did see a water permit, basically, with some nomenclature. We covered this last week for Space News. We saw a water permit that was applied for 39A of expanding 39A's perimeter north. For landing pads. It was specifically stated for landing pads. Now, whether that's Starship or not, I don't know. But that kind of put my whole Starship on 39A theory to bed. The VAB theory got buried, and then that theory got buried too, which kind of sucks, but it's okay. What is this, hired? Back in the cities days, we talked about building in swamps and digging retention ponds. Look what I saw on the news tonight. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. What is... Stop it. Nearly 3 dozen oceanfront buildings from Miami Beach to Sunny Isles Beach are experiencing some level of sinking. 35 buildings are experiencing subsidence, a process where the ground sinks or settles, ranging from 2 to 8 centimeters. Oh, dear. According to the study by scientists. Ooh. Buildings in Sunny Isles Beach saw the most significant subsidence effects, followed by Surfside, where the 2021 collapse of the Champlain Towers South Condominium killed 100 people. That wasn't because of shifting soil. That was because of lack of maintenance. The slabs, they never took care of them. And they all collapsed because of water intrusion. That's weird. It's almost like you got to take care of the building. Sinking was also found at 2 buildings in Miami Beach and 1 at Bal Harbor, according to the study. Scientists used satellite radar to measure the subsidence between 2016 and 2023 on fixed elements on buildings, including balconies, rooftops, air conditioners, and boardwalks. Yeah. That's what happens. Yeah. EIRs hired are not just there for fun. They're not just there to appease tree huggers. Like, that's not, it's there so that doesn't happen. So subsidence doesn't happen. I mean, amongst other things. Ship 33 right now. Ship 33 right now. Okay. Again? Wait a minute. It already static fired. This is Starbase Live from our buddies over at NSF. Single engine fire using the header tanks. I didn't see nothing, dude. Oh, okay. I gotta go back a little bit more. All right, let me see. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely testing that. Yep. Yeah, definitely single engine fire. That comes off, well, I mean, might as well share that news. That comes off of the actual static fire that happened yesterday. Check this out. So this is Ship 33. This is the first Block 2 Starship. I don't remember if the audio is good or bad on this, so I'm just going to say headphone users just in case, and we'll go from there. So, ready? That's not bad. Nice. Oh, look, it did it again. See, that was all engine. That was full engine testing. They fired the Vectors first and then the sea level engine. So this was testing like hot staging and ignition. Lotus, you like the V2 version? The V2 version is pretty cool, man. Yeah, not bad. It's got those little flappy boys up at the top. Before the flaps are like down here, now they're raised up a little bit. The reason why they're raised up is to avoid the problems that happen with past Starship missions. That keeps it so the plasma flow isn't introduced to the joint of the rotating joint of the Starship. Yeah. Really, really beautiful shot. So it looks like they just did another static fire right now. Probably to test the deorbit burn, if I had to guess. So that's a live shot right now at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 Central, from our buddies over at NSF and Starbase Live. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Let's see. What else? What else do we have? I need bleach for my eyes. Those flaps are so weird. All right, what else do we got here? What else do we got? We got that. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got some long format stuff here that you guys check out. It's the cracking on it's heat shield. All right. So we got Dave Limp there. So check this out. Speaking of Starship, while we're on that news, the FAA will host in-person public meetings. I don't know why I wasn't following them. The FAA will host in-person public meetings on January 7th, January 9th, and virtually on the 13th to discuss the potential environmental impacts of SpaceX's revised proposal to increase Starship Super Heavy vehicle operations in Boca Chica, Texas. Yeah, this is the one that revised draft environmental assessment. Let's go right. We're going right to the pictures, dudes. Yeah, this is this one right here. So there's going to be some upgrades. SpaceX wants to do some upgrades to the orbital launch site here. That includes putting an air separator unit in, which will allow them to make locks on site. Power information, expanded fuel farm here, new gate, and then obviously the new pad, diverter collection pond, etc., etc. I reckon they'll fire multiple engines using the header tanks. Ship 33 has a modified fuel system lines. You can see them in this image. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me see. This is a picture from Starship Gazer. All right, what do we got? As the kids would say, Upgoer 5 aura happening right here. Saturn V did that. Yep. Upgoer 5, dude. Nah, relevant XKCD. Saturn V did that, guys. Yeah, it had individual pickups for each engine. Yeah, they went through the LOX tank. Or through the RP1 tank, excuse me. The LOX tank went through the RP1 tank. Yep. Oh, God. No hat, France. Yep. Stormy, hello from Texas. My house is 3 miles away from the tripod test stand. Oh, well, they're getting rid of that, but all right, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So, see? Saturn V did that. Why would you do that as opposed to a plenum and a manifold? If you have one pipe going down and splitting into a bunch of smaller pipes, when you're moving a lot of propellant, yeah, hydraulic hammering. If you have a straight shot and more pipes, yeah, long story short, it flows into the pumps a little bit easier. And Raptors are thirsty. They're thirsty. They need a lot of propellant. This gets them the propellant faster and smoother. Well, smoother probably isn't the right way to say that, but you get what I'm trying to say. That's cool, Stormy. Right on, man. Well, speaking of Ship 33, it did a second static fire just a few minutes ago. Yeah, it looked like a single. We saw it, Archie. It looked like a single orbit, a single engine deorbit test is what it looked like. More thirsty than an F1? No, I don't think so. But they thirsty. Chief, the other thing is you're probably going to need a lot of head pressure. You probably need a lot of head pressure to feed Raptors. Just because of the stage combustion cycle. They're moving propellants pretty quick, dude. Think of an F1 as like a big old V8. It needs a good amount of fuel, and yeah, once it goes, it goes. The Raptors are like a turbo V6 or something. They make insane amounts of power, smaller displacement, but you're still flowing a lot of fuel. They still thirsty. I'd have to check into the flow rates of the engines, though, Chief. I probably could get that information if we wanted to go look. No problem, Archie. Yeah, it's all good, man. Don't worry. Chat, let me know, dude. Anyway. America produces, so what I'm seeing, a 20 to 10 tons of LOX daily. Okay. But quad turbo V12, though. I'm never going to argue for a smaller displacement engine, O10, with cars or rockets. Rockets aren't measured in displacement, but you get the idea. Yeah, why don't you just make it bigger? Have you tried just making it larger? You know, like, there is no replacement for displacement, Kurlani. The only replacement...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
The only potential replacement or displacement is forced induction. Pretzel! 96 months. That's the only replacement for displacement. Potentially. Did you watch the museum show yesterday on NSF? No, I didn't. What is this, an engine for ants? So that's where the sneeze comes from. Yeah. You got a turbo just hanging out on your floor? You don't? Can I get link perms? I don't know, can you? Flip up, 36 months. Unturbos your floor. Oh, gosh. Das's interview with Charlie yesterday was great. I haven't actually watched that yet, Neil. But you guys just tell me, was I right? Artemis they didn't delay the Artemis missions out of safety. They delayed them because they have no choice. They have no choice. You know why? They can't flight test Orion again. They're not hardware rich, which is a very big red flag for any space program. Did Charlie say something along those lines? Was I right? I haven't watched it yet. Did he say something about that? I'm genuinely curious. Oh, the jig was moved. Yeah, I see it. Charlie Camarda. Shaw, he was a shuttle pilot on the return to flight. Discovery. The return to flight after Columbia. He mainly talked about the culture in the shuttle, but he did address the heat shield on Orion. I'm wondering what he said regarding it. Nice, Chief. Yeah, F1's a beast, man. We should just take an F1's turbo, take the F1's like turbine and impellers and just put that, take the gas turbine and just put that in a locomotive. How much energy do you want? All of it? Yeah, I see the jig there. Interesting. Cool. So yeah, the FAA is going to have a public comment period about that. We'll see what's going on with it. We'll see what happens. So speaking of public conferences, science and tech are flying to the moon. Firefly's upcoming mission, their first part of our NASA Artemis campaign. NASA has a press conference tomorrow at 1 p.m. So we'll do kind of a little bit of a flipped schedule here tomorrow. We'll do that press conference, then we'll play some games, and then maybe a little sprinkle of space news, and then some after hours after that. When is that scheduled to crash into the moon? Sometime next year. So yeah, we'll be tuning in for that tomorrow, 1 p.m. Let me just write that down. turning into an old man. I have a little book and I write things. I write things down because I'm secretly old. Don't tell anybody, please. I don't care. I like writing it down. Caveman brain. You say whatever you want. I got a little notebook. Write everything down in it. I actually remember a lot more things this way. Sharper than I already am, which is great. After hours, you say? Yes, the after hours segment. Look at this guy over here with his writing instruments. Yeah, dude. I've actually remembered so much extra stuff, like that production meeting today. Yeah, bro. Did you know I've been working at NSF for a year and I've never attended one of those? That's probably not a good thing. Should probably do that. They've never expected me to, though, but also... Yeah, we might... Actually, a little bit less than a year. Well, no, I've been working for... Dude, Galactic 4 was the first NSF cast that I did. Virgin Galactic 4. The Galactic 4 mission was the first time I was on NSF. That was over a year... That was over a year ago. Why were Dawson D out in California? Business. It just proves that they're not important. Judging by what they talked about Wispid, they seem kind of important. Yeah. I should probably get more involved with doing NSF stuff. Just on a side note. Anyway, cool. That's that. All right. We got a little bit more news coming from Gitai here. That's that awesome robotics company out of Southern California. Here, let's see what they're up to. More tracks on the lunar surface. Oh, open positions. Imagine cruising across the lunar landscape in a Gitai rover. Our robots aren't just for heavy lifting, enabling wider exploration and scientific discovery on the moon. You made a lunar golf cart. You made a lunar golf cart. That's a paint booth. Are they using the robotic arm as a trailer hitch? Yep. Okay. Wonder what the tongue weight is. What? I mean, the boys collecting science on the moon and KSP be like... Yeah, Chief, you're not wrong. We definitely did. Is this Tatooine? No, it's Arrakis. Arrakis. Dune. I don't know. See the dunes? Are you telling me you don't want a lunar rover golf cart? Good point. Good point. All right. Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Discovery.
Yeah.
Go at throttle up.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. All right. Touche. Touchette. Yeah. It's Arkansas. Kansas. Chris, 99-month resub. What is that? I just joined. That was a rover by a company named Gitai. They're looking at making lunar golf carts. Pretty cool. So, here, this next bit is not necessarily space news, but still cool. Buzz Aldrin is the one that tweeted this. Today, is the 80th anniversary of the start of the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. That was the last major German offensive before that ended. Yep. Bunker, bullets, headshot, yeah. Coming next, the lunar villages. So, I thought it was cool that Buzz Aldrin talked about it, which is pretty sick. Battle of great heroism, sacrifice, and determination. Yeah, if you want to know what happened in the Ardennes Forest in December of 44, yeah, it got a little crazy. Which airborne? 101st, right? I have to remember. I'm going to try to remember. I'm probably not going to get it right. The 101st was bailed out by the 3rd Infantry Division because Patton went north with the tanks. Oh God, we're back in Hearts of Iron mode. Yep. So they pushed, the Germans were getting pushed back on the Western Front, and then just a quick history lesson here, if anybody that cares. The Germans figured you could screw up their entire offensive if you take the ports at Antwerp in Belgium. So the front lines were basically right around here somewhere, right? So what the Germans tried to do is they tried to push out. Actually, I'm not sure if it was Antwerp. They were trying to take a port. Actually, yeah, no, I think that's right. They were pushing here, right? And then the Germans tried to push out and get the ports so it would screw up the Allies' logistics. That was the whole idea. So they fought through this. See this forest right here? They fought through that forest. And what happened was, amongst other things, the 101st Airborne Division, like if you've ever seen Band of Brothers, that's what this is about. They got stranded here in the Ardennes Forest in the middle of winter. Completely surrounded, completely cut off. Until U.S. forces from the 3rd Infantry Division, commanded by Patton, came up and bailed them out. And they went this way. The U.S. went this way and split the split. And, yeah. 80 years ago, man. Yeah, it got really cold. Really freaking cold. No supplies. Completely cut off. Yeah. How long was it? Basically, the front completely collapsed by the end of January. Yeah, completely collapsed. Patton came in there with tanks. 3rd Infantry Division. Tanks. Yeah. Lots of tanks. And just kind of... They flanked the flank. Pretty interesting bit of military history, if you care. Atlanta, 110 months. In honor of the F-110 Spectre, better known as the iconic F-4 Fantôme. But yeah, today's the 80th anniversary of that. That's important to remember your history. Or if you're playing Hearts of Iron, it could be useful information. That Maximalist playthrough was pretty fun, though, huh? Here, I'm going to put on Starbase Live in the background so the headset doesn't go out. So I don't lose sound.
Do you know what's really fun?
Do you know what's really fun? Not seeing ads. That would be really good. Today is also the Boston Tea Party Day as well. Very nice. See last, volume warning. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Nuts. Yeah. The Americans that got stranded there were cut from a different cloth than you and I. Huh. When are you surrendering? When are you surrendering? You're outnumbered. So? Those boys are cut from a different cloth, dude. Oh, boy. Unskippable, huh? Man, Google really wants to cash in. Did you see they increased the price of YouTube TV, too? It's just comparable with cable now. not in a good way. What are you doing? Are you stupid? Are you trying to lose? Whatever. Target rich environment, indeed. So yeah. This has all happened before and will happen again. uBlock is your friend. Yeah, we're probably... You know what? You're right. You know what? I'm just gonna... Just give me a second. You only need to beat the other guy by $1. Yeah, Wisp, something tells me that mentality is going away. Yeah. But who knows? Alright, let's refresh that page. And let's refresh this page and see what happens. Oh, yeah, very good. That's cool, Dark Crew. Right on. Or to quote Chesty Puller, they're on our right, they're on our left, they're in front of us, they're behind us. They can't get away from us this time. Chesty Puller, like I said, cut from a different cloth, dude. Like, I don't know what batch, what they were cooking when they made that batch, but that batch versus our batch. Okay. Okay. It's just, all right. We're surrounded. Good. More people to shoot. Like, nice. Nice. Something like that, Hibbit. Yep, yep. Take me to the brig. Let me see the real Marine. All right. So if you guys hear background noise, it's just Starbase Live. But anyway. All right. Anyway, getting back to it. So, the roadmap to Mars has never been more clear. This is coming from NASA Artemis. Now, this was from last week, and I didn't get around to sharing it. They shared this on Friday. So, our most recent Moon to Mars architecture update includes some elements such as a lunar surface cargo lander and identifies fission power as the primary source of power for initial Martian crews. Oh boy. 3-minute read. Probably not. Okay. Let's see. As NASA develops a blueprint for space exploration throughout the solar system for the benefit of humanity, the agency released several new documents Friday, updating its Moon to Mars architecture. The roadmap sets NASA on course for long-term exploration under the Artemis campaign in preparation for future crewed missions to Mars. Following an architectural concept review, the 2024 updates include a revision of NASA's architectural definition document, which details technical approaches and processes of the agency's exploration plans, an executive overview, and 12 new white papers on key Moon to Mars topics. NASA's architecture concept review process is critical to getting us on a path to mount human missions to Mars. Jim Free said that. We're taking a methodical approach to mapping out the decisions we need to make, understanding resource and technological trades, and ensuring we are listening to feedback from stakeholders. One newly released white paper highlights NASA's decision to use fission power as the primary source of power on the Martian surface to sustain crews. The first of 7 key decisions necessary for human Mars exploration. Fission power is a form of nuclear power unaffected by day-night cycles or potential dust storms on Mars. Okay. I've seen this movie before. You got to bury it in the ground. New additions this year also include a broader prioritized list of key architectural decisions that need to be made early in NASA's plans to send humans to the Red Planet. 2 new elements are now part of the agency's Moon to Mars architecture: a lunar surface cargo lander and an initial lunar surface habitat. After this, you should take a gander at the technological shortfall in their rankings. All right, Rocket, we'll see what we got. The lunar surface cargo lander will deliver logistics items, science and technology payloads, communication systems, and more. The initial surface habitat... The lunar surface cargo lander. They added a... All right. Just put a little asterisk on that. The initial surface habitat allows astronauts on the lunar surface to extend the crew size, range, and duration of exploration missions and enabled crew and uncrewed scientific opportunities. The newest revision of the architecture definition document adds more info about NASA's decision road mapping process, how the agency decides which decisions must be made early in the planning process based on impacts of subsequent decisions. All right, where is this paper? Where are you? Rocket Guy is this the paper? Let me see. Let's take a look. Hey, get back here. Stakeholder webinar, civilian space shortfall ranking. Okay. Do we have is there a total paper for this? Is there a master doc, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Is that not the link at the bottom of the page? Hang on one second. Let me see if I can find the link. Look at one of the replies to their post. Oh my goodness. Wabbit season, duck season, wabbit season, duck season, wabbit season, duck. I say it's duck season, and I say fire. You are despicable. That's awesome. It's so good, dude. I'm just wondering where's the whole paper? Like they kept talking about it. Asteroid mission. Get out. You're despicable. I watched a very interesting Mythbusters today. 24-hour stream. Yes, I was bored. They were talking about a 2-stage liquid-fueled rocket fired at Washington in the twilight of the Civil War. But they said it was busted, but it did manage to make a rock with materials they would had back then. What are your thoughts? The Chinese have had solid rocket boosters, Briggsy, since like the 4th century or something. It's possible. Sure. We had submarines during the Civil War as well. Yeah, it's submarines and battleships. The USS Monitor.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, Baron. Good old ironclads. Yeah, here. This is nuts. During the Civil War, the Confederacy and the Union were trying to find any particular advantage over one another, and the U.S. cooked up this. The Monitor. You got it, Rocket Guy? Cool. Thanks, man. Yeah. Barbette turret battleship in 1860. With a swivel turret. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And it actually, the funny thing is it got into a skirmish with the CSS Virginia in 1862, a Confederate ship. Check this out. The CSS Virginia was basically T-34 in boat form 80 years before. The funny thing is about the Monitor and the Virginia, when they went to duke it out, nobody could pen anybody's armor. They were shooting cannonballs at each other. The Monitor had its low profile, right? It had a low profile, so it was really hard to hit. Virginia was easy to hit, but it had sloped armor. So it just bounced off. They just shot at each other, and they both ran out of ammunition. Yep. So, Briggsy, it's absolutely possible. Sure. Sure, man. They were cooking up stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah, they ran out of ammunition. And then the Monitor sank trying to get back to port. Yeah. It's true. Fun fact. Not too long ago, they went and found it. And they got it back. At least part of it. Where do I fix the bayonet? Yep. That looked like the first stealth ship. Crazy, Huggy. Yeah, if you guys don't know about the Monitor and the Virginia, very interesting. Very interesting. Absolutely amazing that they raised it. Yep. Yep. They got the turret from the Monitor, dudes. I don't know what happened to the Virginia. I don't really care either. I don't care. Hey, Forge, how you doing? No one thought about compartmentalization of watertight bulkheads. Yeah, mistakes were made. Yep. Can you believe that? That turret is almost 200 years old. Did I do that, Matt? Yeah, it's not almost 200 years old. I mean, let's think about this. It's 160 years old. Okay, it's pretty old. It's pretty old. Yeah, it's pretty old. They had subs too. Yep. So with the submarines, Tessa, yeah, with the subs they would go up to ships and attach explosives and leave. A meta that persisted basically all the way to World War II. Interestingly enough, Brits were trying to do that to the Tirpitz in the what is that, 44? Didn't work. Bomb it instead. American solution, just bomb it. That works. What car is that? Well, I want to get back to looking at that. I wanted to get back to looking at the Moon to Mars architecture. What car is that? It's a Mustang. Yeah, Mustang. Looks like an S197, late S197 Mustang. Hi, Okie. All right, Rocket Guy, you got the architecture. I don't know where you found it, but all right, here. Let's take a look. Let's see what this architecture entails. So I always say NASA needs a tighter architecture. Why is it a subway map? Whatever. All right. Moon focused, Mars focused, lunar surface cargo. That's really what I want to see here. These are based off of some white papers. All right. The exploration of the lunar surface, as described in NASA's Moon to Mars Architecture Definition Document, ADD, squirrel, will reveal a wide variety of landed systems, including scientific instruments, habitats, mobility systems, infrastructure, and more. Given diverse cargo needs of varying size, mass, and I have no coffee left, crap. Cadence, delivery locations, and end users, access to a range of cargo landing capabilities offers strategic benefit. While current cargo lander development activities will contribute to meeting some cargo delivery demands, a substantial gap in lander capability remains. Oh, geez, that's what I've been saying. That's weird. Man, I'm tired of being right. Yeah, it got a real Atari vibe going to it, Tessa, yeah. This paper characterizes lunar surface cargo delivery needs, compares these needs with projected in-work cargo lander capabilities, and outlines strategic considerations to fulfill this architectural capability gap. Lunar surface exploration will require the delivery of assets, equipment, and supplies to the lunar surface. While some limited supplies and equipment may be delivered alongside crew on NASA's human landing system, the breadth and scale of logistical needs for deep space exploration require additional surface cargo landing capabilities. NASA has developed a conceptual reference mission for cargo lander delivery that will be added to the ADD in Revision B, this reference mission. What are its requirements? Delivered non-offloaded and/or offloaded cargo to the lunar surface. Provides all necessary to maintain cargo from in-space transit through landing on the lunar surface until the cargo is either offloaded from the lander or in an operational state where these services from the lander are no longer needed. In accordance with the cargo lander provider agreements, ensures successful landing at an accessible and usable location with sufficient precision, establishes safe conditions on the lunar surface for the crew to approach the lander, verifies healthy functionality of non-offloaded or offloaded cargo, performs any lander end-of-life operations, including potential relocation. Cool. Ensuring the cargo or other surface assets are not adversely affected by the lander after landing operations. So it needs to deliver payload. It needs to be able to hold on to that payload until somebody comes and gets it, and then it needs to be able to safe itself after. Yep. Do you think they can catch the ship in Flight 8? Vinayak, that's a good question. I think they'll catch it depending on how Flight 7 goes. I'm already convinced that if Starship could somehow get back to the landing site, I think they can catch it. After what I saw with Ship 31 being absolutely mangled from re-entry heat and still precisely landing, I'm pretty sure they're fine. Yeah, I think they'll attempt it. Remember, it's in the critical path for getting back to the moon. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. Or not gonna. It's got to happen sooner rather than later. If NASA wants this lander in 2027, which is what they said they will, that's what they said they want. If they want the lander in 2027 for Artemis 3, they are definitely going to need to figure this out sooner rather than later. 2027 is around the corner in space program terms. That might as well be next week. The biggest gap would be Mars entry, descent, and landing, which the moon doesn't really help with for landers. EDL at Earth return is better, but still different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Huggy, that's right. The X-Craft is what the Brits were using. Yep. Can you link this document? Yes. Kind of disagree. I think after V2 tower is ready. Lotus, well, yeah, sure, probably. I think the V2 tower is going to be ready by the time Flight 8 comes around. I like how they use DC as... They use DC overlaid over potential lunar landing areas to demonstrate scale. Ah, DC for scale. So, yeah. See, this is what I was saying, guys. It's interesting that NASA pointed this out. I've been saying, and this is based off of basically the HLS down select. Rocket Guy, you helped me form this opinion if you really want to know. Cast your mind back to when HLS, Human Landing System, was awarded to Starship. I didn't think it would have been awarded to Starship. I did not think NASA was going to pull the trigger on using Starship as a lunar lander. Why? Because it's not what they need. It's not what they need. If you're going to the grocery store, you don't take a semi-truck. Right? It's not the right application, but NASA did it anyway because Congress forced their hand because they're idiots. I don't know. Say with that, take with that information what you will. What happened was that they got HLS on the books, right? And then when they went to fund it, Congress decided basically, no, we're not going to fund this. So they only allocated basically enough funding for NASA to be able to pick SpaceX. That's it. And even then, NASA had to change their contract awarding nomenclature to make it so SpaceX could fund it out of pocket if needed. Yeah. Blue Origin notoriously missed this change in their contract award legislature. And when NASA awarded the contract to SpaceX, Blue freaked out and tried to sue NASA. Yep. They chose Starship because they didn't have a financial choice. What NASA really needs is something like the LEM. I've been saying this for a long time. They need something like the LEM. That's really, really important. Because you might not need to land Starship down there every time. Now, granted, here's the thing. If SpaceX achieves the flight rate that they're thinking of, then that really isn't going to matter. It really isn't going to matter. But, as I've always said, why would you... Don't risk it. Starship is still... It's not fully proven. And I'm not saying it won't work. I think it will work. But we're in a unique position where we could have two ways to get to the moon. You know what's better than one way to get to the moon? Two. You know what's better than two? Three. See where I'm going with this? They need Altair. They do need... Well, Altair's a little big. But, yeah, look. What's better than three? Four. I'll check it in a second, Forge. Page 44, huh, Rocket Guy? What's on the table here? Is it... Oh, bro. Oh, yeah. This looks like surviving Mars, man. NASA's the one that awarded the contract, Yannick. Wouldn't they have to sue Congress? No, they wouldn't have to sue Congress. They sued NASA because this is history. This already happened. Mars ascent and landing vehicle. B is the surface fission power. Oh, with the radiators. Dude, that's sick. Dude, that's sick. Oh, this shows how you're going to basically do ISRU on Mars. Now, I will say, you're going to need a big rover. You're going to need a big rover, or not a big rover. You're going to need a big lander to do something like this. Starship conceptually is ace for this. Yeah, a great idea. Amazing. Yeah, super, super good. Hope the meeting was a good one. Yeah, it was all right, Bob. It's okay. It was a meeting. I'd never attended one, so I wanted to. I'm like the outlier over there. Aqualex, they did not award the HLS contract out of what their best needs are. It was definitely out of because this is what we had the money for. Ironically, what they had the money for was a lander that's the equivalent of sending a semi-truck to the moon. That's cool, man. I was back up here. So it's very interesting that they called into... They basically said they needed a lunar lander. Their needs here. Yeah, logistics for 2 crew. Planned lander capability compared with lunar surface cargo demand. Manned gap opportunities. Yeah, see. NASA asked for $2.4 billion for HLS. They got $832 million from Congress. SpaceX was the only one that was even close to that payment structure and allocation. And it only was, Rocket Guy, after they amended their contracts to say that you could match it with external funding. SpaceX could use their own funding to match NASA's budget. Yeah. They had to change the rules. And Blue freaked out because they changed the rules. Thanks for sharing this white paper. So awesome. Yeah. Good stuff. But even now, you still need something like the LEM. You still do. Like, there's these graphs. It's interesting that NASA shows it. Now, what are you going to do with it? You know, like... I kind of want to read through this whole damn paper. Given diverse cargo needs of varying sizes, mass delivery, and cadence, and operational needs, a diverse portfolio of cargo lander capabilities will be necessary to achieve NASA's Moon to Mars objectives. While current cargo lander development activities contribute to meeting human lunar return segment's cargo delivery needs, there's a substantial architectural gap in lander capability for the foundational exploration segment and beyond. Both international partners and industry offer opportunities to create a mixed cargo lander fleet that fully meets cargo delivery demands, enables longer missions, sends more crew members to the surface, and empowers a larger exploration footprint. Encouraging the development of varied cargo lander concepts and capabilities will be key for establishing a long-term lunar presence for science and exploration. More detailed on architectural gaps for lunar cargo will be released at the close of the 2024 Architectural Concept Review Cycle. Why do we need mixed cargo? People need to eat. Yep, that's kind of important. Wasn't really a rule change. SpaceX asked, can we? And NASA said yes. Blue was mad because they didn't tell them, if I remember correctly. Yeah, well, NASA, yeah, that's basically it, Pete. NASA basically said, hey, you want to fund this out of pocket, we'll choose you. And SpaceX said, we could fund this out of pocket. You should choose us. And NASA said, all right, cool. All right, cool, man. You need mixed cargo because you're not always sending people. If you want to live and thrive and survive on the moon, you're not going to send people every time. Sometimes you're sending cargo. Sometimes you're sending the house for those people to live in. You know, if you live in a single wide, you don't get in the single wide at the single wide factory and then ride the single wide trailer all the way to where your house is. Right? You get in your own car and then drive behind it. Oversized load. Right? That's basically what we need to make. NASA needs to make basically the equivalent of a space single wide. Like in The Martian where the next... Oh, jeez. Like in The Martian when the next ascent vehicle is already there. Bingo. Yeah, for example, CRS and the ISS. Yeah, exactly. Logistics do be like that. Oh, what's this? Hold up. Example traverses showing landing locations and potential end-use locations. Oh, dude, there you go. That's what your moon base is going to look like. Power augmentation hab module, ISRU, your landing site, another landing site, and the mining. Oh, that's so cool. Dude, want to build rover highways on the moon. That, dude, if there was a game where you grade highways on the moon, I would play the frick out of that game. Oh. I love building highways and I love space. Building highways on the moon would be, dude, you'd never see me again. workers and resources, but on the moon. Ah! That's such a... oh, man. Link? Sure, man. Yeah, I can link you up. I've seen the video from Lockheed. The video from Lockheed seems to echo this. NASA doing a mobile home in space. Didn't Spaceballs do this already as an example? That wasn't a mobile home. That was an RV. It's different. Stationeers can grade. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You absolutely can. John Madden. John Madden. Football. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, that's good that this is at least on there. Cross-cutting? Architecture-driven technology gaps. All right, let's see. I want to read this part. NASA has a long history of developing new and innovative technologies that empower space exploration and benefit humanity. The next phase of global human exploration, beginning with the Artemis campaign and defined in NASA's Moon to Mars architecture, will continue to advance this technology. With a broad array of needs competing for technology development resources, the agency must judiciously target priority technologies that enable NASA to achieve its exploration goals. To this end, NASA has applied rigorous systems engineering processes to develop and prioritize architecture-driven technology gaps to inform technology development investments. Basically, they're saying they can only fund so much. They got to pick. Yeah, here. Read this part's interesting. They're talking about technology gaps and push and pull. Push and pull is basically that. We need technology for the moon. No Mars, no the moon. No Mars, no the moon. No Mars, no the moon. No Mars. Wabbit season, duck season, wabbit season, duck season, wabbit season, duck season. A technology gap exists where a performance target defined in the architecture exceeds current capabilities of state-of-the-art technologies, or the capability does not exist at all. The gaps are solution agnostic. They document a capability need, but do not prescribe a specific technological solution. Left open, the gaps will prevent NASA from achieving all of its exploration objectives. Like, I don't know, building a rocket that's supposed to go to the moon with no lander and no upper stage. Yeah. See that? You see that, guys? You see that? That's a technology gap. That's a flying technology gap. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Look at that. Look at this gap! See that? That's a flying technology gap. Because, you know, some bonehead decided to make a rocket that's supposed to go to the moon with no lander. Missed it by that much. This is a narrow definition. A technology gap is not simply an area of the architecture that requires further work or the initiation of an element. If NASA can initiate a project or program to meet an architectural need using existing technology, then that area is not a technology gap. KSA got a new developer that worked at SpaceX. Cool. Architecture-driven technology gaps require entirely new technologies or significant performance advancement in existing technologies to establish a capability needed to achieve Moon to Mars objectives. EJ needs a nap. You need a nap. Much of NASA's architectural works involves identifying unallocated funds and filling them with newer existing exploration assets or elements. The hardware and systems that enable exploration. However, there are instances where filling a gap in the architecture requires new technology. In these instances, architecture-driven technology gaps provide architecture technology pull. The architecture can also provide pull for new technologies that significantly enhance capabilities. Technology push also exists where technologies do not yet have a traceable planned element or mission for infusion, but capability develops. Expect that the capabilities will be necessary in the future. Whoops. Hey guys. Hey guys. This isn't exactly this, but you guys remember when I said Science Mission Directorate and the Human Spaceflight Directorate need to have an intertwined, they need to be intertwined to drive your architecture correctly? You guys remember, you remember when I said that? You guys remember when I said that? That's weird. Would you look at that? See what I mean? Looks like NASA's starting to figure that one out. Only took them 10 years. But, well, I'll be honest with you, it's probably something they didn't not know. But, yep. So, this is between the Science Technology Mission Directorate and the Exploration Systems Development Mission Directorate. So basically, this is the science missions, and these are the people missions, okay? And what NASA's saying there is basically, if you want to allocate funds, if you want to make it so you don't have push-pull in technology, at least if I'm understanding this right, feel free to correct me. Basically, if you want to do this right, you have to find a solution to get your Science Technology Mission Directorate and your Exploration Systems Director to work together. They need to work together. Like how surveyor missions during the Apollo program directly fed to the Apollo program. Surveyor missions were uncrewed probes that went to the moon that basically scouted it out for people. That's Science Technology Mission Directorate feeding Exploration Systems Mission Directorate. That is them working together. That's what you want. Right now, they don't work together at all. In fact, the schedule overlap from, supposedly, from an Exploration Systems Directorate, Mission Directorate, Exploration System Development Mission Directorate mission actually is what got Viper the axe. Actually, defunding the whole thing got Viper the axe. If you don't intertwine them like this and don't make them codependent on technologies, certain technologies, right? If you don't do that, they're basically going to be fighting back and forth for funding. What are your thoughts on Jared's comment about Artemis when asked on the Space Force interview? I haven't seen it, Kirok. Can you link it to me, perhaps? Current is Elmer season. These shortfall rankings express the immediate technology gaps now and rank them of importance based on NASA and industry stakeholders. Page 18 gives the top 30 rated technical gaps. Okay, that's the other paper you have here. I already had it open. Hey, Gabe, what's up, man? 84-month resub. What's going on, my brother? How you doing? You still flying God's abominations around? I'm great, dude. I'm just doing my thing. Just talking about mission architectures, you know, as one does, right? Like as one does. Oh my goodness. Heck yeah, I got 2 rotors up top and nothing faster in the inventory. Yo, big boy. You got the big boy. You got the big boy helicopter. All right, my guy. Nice. Isn't that thing sick? That thing's so freaking cool, dude. That's awesome, man. It's good to see you. All right. Let's see. Integrated shortfall rankings. Integrated rank 1. Average integrated score 81035. 1618. Survive and operate through the lunar night. Yep. Quick sidetrack, but have you seen the announcement on the KSA Discord? Yeah, somebody just said that, I think. What's Dino saying? Oh. Oh. Wowzer. Dude, somebody said this in chat a second ago, and I was like, oh, they got somebody from SpaceX, but that it is a little bit more than that. KSA has a computational a math PhD, a computational scientist with a PhD in mathematics. Okay. Nice. And then they have a senior flight software engineer from SpaceX they're hiring as a programmer. Oh my goodness. "12 years as a senior flight software engineer at SpaceX." Oh, dude, Dean ain't messing around, dude. He ain't messing around. That's no joke. Programmer for what? This is RocketWorks Kitten Space Agency, Lotus. This is the game that's going. Basically, they're aiming to fill the void that Kerbal left. BlackRock's still working on visuals. Repo's working on patched conics. That's my boy right there. They really want this game to be good. Yeah. That game's gonna be something, man. It's a custom engine, Lotus. Launched today, right? Yes, we have GPS SV10, GPS 3 SV10. They're calling it like PPT or something. It should be in about an hour. It's 51 past the hour is when the launch is scheduled for. We're 3 past the hour, so in 48 minutes. We'll switch over in about a half hour. I wanted to read the rest of this architecture stuff, but that's really cool. I really hope KSA does some good stuff. Power generation, high power energy generation, high power onboard computing. So this is the big stuff that NASA needs to figure out to get to the moon reliably. RRT, yeah, that's what they're calling it. They're calling it RRT, which I think is, I don't know. Sorry for the detour. No, it's no problem. Robotic actuation, subsystems, components, and system architectures for long duration and extreme environment operation. So from SpaceX rocket software developer to space game developer, nice. You know what the interesting thing is, Black? SpaceX shows up at GDC every year, and they poach people from the game development industry to work on software for Dragon. Yeah, they're very, very well known for doing that. You know why? There's a lot of extremely talented people in the games industry that are really good at software. Why is that? Well, if you want to be a game developer, you really need to know what you're doing. You really need to understand code really, really well, because think about how often the games industry ships games. It's a lucrative freaking business. It's a bigger business than spaceflight by a long shot. You want to go find the best of the best, go to GDC, Game Developers Conference, and that's what SpaceX has been doing. They've been doing that for 20 years. Well, maybe not 20 years, but you get the idea. Yeah, why do you think their UI looks so good? Exactly. You know who knows how to code good UI? Video game developers. Am I right? It's true. So, yeah. That's it's not that far-fetched having somebody going from working at SpaceX to the games industry, because they most likely got poached from the games industry. I'd have to go look at that guy's resume, but that's the idea. Nuclear propulsion. Yeah. EJ Geek, send a package to the house. Okay. I got a package. Rocket Guy, are you here? I got a package. It was a present from me to me for being such a good boy this year. What do we do with this? What do we do with this doohickey? What should we do? What should we do with this? Well, I don't know. Sometimes I wish I knew how to do programming or game dev. Start writing code then. He's talking about Polaris, but I thought it was Artemis. Oh yeah, Kirok. Okay, I got you. Look, the square hole. Put it on a Lemons car. Put it in the square hole. Hook it up to the truck. Nobody wants to make a jet engine out of this? Shame. Shame. Could make a really nice gas turbine out of this. I said rocket engine. Serious, how are we going to do that? We don't have a fluid impeller. Is that for making your next cup of coffee? Yeah, maybe. Oh. Oh. Look at this. Just run it with fluid. You know what? I don't think that's gonna work very well, dude. You know, that's probably not gonna. Air's the fluid. Turbo specs, it's a rip-off GT35. Give me 1 second. I'll be able to tell you. Give me 1 second. One moment. I'm trying to find it. Actually, no, it might be a T4. Please hold. Please hold. I will get you your specs. I gotta go find the part number. It's a GT35, yeah. It's based off of a GT35. It's Chinesium, dude. I'm trying to look at the specs for this thing. They had like inducer diameter and stuff. Here we go. Okay. So exhaust inlet flange is a T3 flange. Outlet is 4-bolt. External wastegate. It's got a floating bearing. Oil cooled. Oil feed inlet N10 7 1624 drain 2 M8 by 125. It's a copy exactly. How did you come about it? Why and what for? I came about it because you guys have been kind of good to me through the holidays, and I want to start doing different, like, more stuff in the garage, and it was $130. So, here we go. For the nerds, compressor trim 57, inducer diameter 61.5 millimeters, exducer diameter 81.5 millimeter. Compressor AR is 0.7. Compressor inlet size air intake is 103.5 millimeters. Outlet is 63.6 millimeters. Turbine trim 84.2. Inducer diameter 68 millimeter. Exducer diameter 62.4. It says it should it should work really well with a 5-liter Ford. Ugh. Good thing you got it before the Chinesium gets a tariff. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. It's a little... I wanted to make it into a jet engine. But then I realized I don't know how to do that. We'll figure it out. What does it weigh? It's pretty heavy, dude. If we make it into a jet engine, it's not flying. Let me put it that way. But yeah. I don't know. Or we'll put it on a car. Whatever. I'll find a use for it. I'll find something to do with that. Let me put it that way. No, $130. 130. That's a nice, not beat up one. Yeah. Brimo's car already has a turbo. So you created an architecture with no mission, huh? No. I have flexibility. You can put it on the Coronet, put it on the 59. The 318 is low compression. It'd be great for boost. You just gotta, you have to really find you need an ignition timing programmer that retards the timing under boost, or else you'll blow the engine immediately. But then again, that engine already has a lot of blow by anyway. Yeah, David. Anyway. Anyway, let's see. We could turbo the turbo. Yeah, they called that compressor staging. That's already a thing. Americans realizing that basically everything tech will be more expensive because everything is made overseas these days. Yeah, maybe where you live. See last, please. You should really have this video in your pocket. Have you ever seen this? Yeah, this is warped. This guy's cool. The see-through jet engine. Yeah. That guy's awesome. Isn't the Coronet's motor pretty clapped anyway? Boosted. If it breaks, you're going to get a new one, right? That 318 is pretty tired. It does need to be rebuilt. You'll see. The last time I started it the other day and got it up to the garage, it has blow-by. Yeah. Oh, G-Core, that's sick, dude. That's sick. That's awesome, man. I like Warp, dude. That guy's cool. I've never met I don't know that guy, but yeah, Warp Perspective is a pretty good YouTube channel. That guy's pretty cool. Basically, your 318 needs rings valves. It's got 200,000 miles on it, man. The odometer is 96,000 something or other. Hellfish, that motor, it's 196. It's got 200,000 miles on it, which is absurd for anything from the 60s. You know, everybody's, well, they don't make them like they used to. And, well, that is true. Dude, old cars, you got to 100,000 miles and you're done. You're done. That's it. You're done. The only thing they built to last was pickup trucks, and even then, they rust out. Okay, I gotta run. Always a pleasure stopping by. Yeah, it's good to see you, G-Core. All right, man. Be good. Fly safe. So we finally decided to make our own version of Starlink for 11 billion. It's called Iris 2, and it's awful. 264 sats with 2 in view, so no flat panel design. What do you... Okay. This is the other article you linked. This is coming from Sandra Irwin. I want to look at more of this stuff with the moon, but yeah, very interesting reading about this. I actually am going to give myself some homework there. I'm going to move that up there, and I'm going to move the shortfall stuff up there as well. Starlink is set to hit $11.8 billion in revenue in 2025, boosted by military contracts. Quality Space in a new report says the U.S. government awarded SpaceX a $537 million contract for Starlink services. Yeah. Oh, boy. Hey, FX, 62-month resub. My Dodge B200, I put 400,000 miles on the 360 before I rebuilt it. Nice. That's up there, FX. Good for you, man. My 318's pretty clapped, dude. It's pretty clapped. It has blow by at idle, which is not great. Not good. Not good. Blow by at idle is not great. Aerospace and kinetics happily pamper their pockets, just shoot you already. You're developing... Oh. I'm not LS swapping a 69 Coronet, Lord Gugu. We're not doing that. I'll put a 360 in there before that happens. Or I really want a 440 and a 727. If anybody has a 440, Chrysler 440 out there and a 727 transmission behind it, and the price is fair, let me know. I'm serious. Just shoot me a message on Discord or a DM on Twitch or something. Yeah, I really want a 440 for that car. You know why I want a 440? Just so I could say it's got a 440 cubic inch plant. Cop tires, cop suspension, cop shocks. Sorry. Can you blame me? $264 satellites, at least 2 in view. Ugh. $360s are good engines. Was it a Magnum FX or is it an LA? Could have a 454. LA engine, dude. That's pretty good for an LA engine, man. That's pretty good. pretty good. Some stuff was built right, dude. It's built freaking good, man. So Forge, you got more on Iris. So this is an Iris mega constellation. What else we got? As a matter of fact, 10 billion euros Iris 2 agreements does not have provisions for any user terminals apart from a few dozen test units at all. Starlink and Project Kuiper designed their constellation geometry around their user terminals. The EU has no plans for the latter. The current plan is that the EU doesn't trust Starlink and they want their own constellation. Kness and Arianespace and Thales see it as a money grab, milk the EU with a bad sat design, and even worse terminal design, mandate the usage of Iris 2 through the entire armies of the European Union, and take them hostage with bad terminal design. Overall, they want more contracts in the European Union. Oh. Where were my monitors made, Black Eagle? Taiwan, dude. South Korea. Yeah, Forge, that's pretty bad, man. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh, sweet. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. My other package arrived. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys another thing that I got. You'll like it. Trust me. Trust me. Hey, hey, look out, I'm right in front of you. Ah. That's not Geek's gift. You just missed the static fire? Just missed another static fire into cow? Very headphone moment. No way, dude. Really? Oh, that must have been a little confusing. They had to play that right when it. Yeah, that must have been a little strange. They had to play that like right as I walked away. That's really good. That's great. That's great. I'm sure that's really professional. Anyway, so here, look, this is what I got. Isn't that cool? Riveting. Close. Some of you know. Honk, 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 honk. Hi-ho, Silver, away! You guys know what Clicos are? You guys got any games on your phone? Some metalworking is in our future. Some metalwork is in our future. That's all I'm saying. The cornet. Yep, the cornet. We're gonna need a lot of these. Glico pliers have 1,001 usage. Yeah. How depressing. No, impressing. Anyway. Yeah. So, how does chat not know what Glicos are? I actually got, like, entropy. I was like, really? They don't know what that is? Then you said something, and I was like, oh, all right, cool, sweet. Do I gotta send Geek to the Boston shop again? I don't know, man. Warning. Audio may copy strike you. I'll give you one guess what place I just found. So what's my incentive to click on that? Okay. The Forge, yeah, it sounds like Iris too is a clown fiesta. That's good. Yeah, big old clown fiesta. Cool. I really want to read more about that architecture stuff. That place kind of sucks, not gonna lie. All right, dudes. Well, that's gonna do it for the Monday space news. Oh, hold on, I got a message. Might be important. You are fired. Oh, sorry. Did you sign up for the Flame Trench? Did you see this? I have made a verbal commitment. I have not signed up on paper. ULA pitches Space Interceptor role for Vulcan rocket's upper stage. The company is proposing military applications for its Centaur 5 stage in a bid to differentiate itself in the highly competitive space launch market. What? What are you doing? You're doing what now? This is Sandra Erwin over at Space News. ULA is proposing a new military application for its Vulcan Centaur rocket, a space interceptor, capable of thwarting potential threats to U.S. assets in orbit. Uh-oh. For more riveting content. That's right. Yep. I covered the Astro Scale news last week, weather guy. Tori Bruno discussed this vision at the Space Power Conference, positioning the Vulcan Centaur not just as a launch vehicle, but as a potential orbital deterrent against adversaries targeting Space Force assets. Our vision is to be able to have a platform that is lightning fast, long range, and if necessary, very lethal. What I've been working on is essentially a rocket that operates in space. Nice, W. That's cool. Right on. Dwingaloo telescope receives signals from Voyager 1. Yep, she's still alive. Barely, but she's still alive. Bruno has long advocated expanded capabilities for the Centaur upper stage. In 2020, he outlined plans for an enhanced Centaur 5 featuring increased energy thrust and duration capabilities to enable complex trajectories and ambitious future missions. More recently, he's promoted a high-performance, long-duration version that could operate for days or weeks in support of U.S. military operations. The proposal comes as ULA seeks to regain lost ground to SpaceX in the military launch market. Once the dominant provider for U.S. military launches, ULA has seen its market share erode since SpaceX entered the field in 2015 with its cost-effective Falcon 9 rocket. Yeah, that's right. Vulcan Centaur, currently awaiting certification for national security missions, features the first stage powered by two Blue Origin B-4 engines and a second stage, Centaur 5, using an Aerojet Rocketdyne RL-10 engine. Tori Bruno suggests that with upgrades, the Centaur 5 could serve as a long endurance vehicle for counter space missions and a space interceptor. I'm wondering what he means by that, space interceptor, but while conventional satellites move slow and deliberate in their motion, the enhanced Centaur could rapidly respond to developing threats. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, are we talking about a Centaur that's just going, I'm the Juggernaut, just plowing a satellite out of orbit? Older Buffalo, hey Jay, best wishes to you and yours this holiday season. Likewise, man. Thank you very much. Clearly Moonraker, yeah. What Tori was talking about in the interview is that Russia is restarting the Almaz grenade program. Soviet space rocket propelled grenade revealed. Oh God. Oh, that's a bad idea. Can it change planes? I'm not sure, David, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not 100% on that one. I think the Centaur is just basically gonna get near stuff and just plow it out of orbit or hit it. Interestingly enough. Interesting. DM Jew heading back to work. Give me 1 second, you walk. More from Tori Bruno. Keep in mind, guys, we're inside of 20 minutes for GPS 3 SV10.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
You know what? We'll probably switch over to that coverage here. SpaceX should be starting that cast sooner rather than later. Hey, Quagmire. Six month resub. Thank you very much, bud. Older Buffalo, you were given the Lego Lunar Rover gift this week. Now, I know it must take some liberties, but I never understood the packing and unpacking of the rover until this model. Folds up like a briefcase, dude. Is that something or what? Oh. Older Buffalo, you reminded me. Brie and I were Christmas shopping, and we were in a Lego store, and I saw the Liebherr 13,000. Oh man, is that thing cool? I really would that. It's pretty sick. I have no use for it, but it is cool. How many did you buy? 0. It's $700. No, absolutely not. No. I'm not doing that. But also, it's damn cool. But yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Did you research the lunar module evil twin? What do you mean, John? Your dad has it and it's amazing? Yeah. For that much, dude, I can buy... I'm gonna go buy a motor for one of my cars for that amount of money, dude. Do it. You won't. I won't. You're not wrong. I absolutely won't. What's Tori Bruno saying here? Tori Bruno, it's time to defend ourselves in space. We have entered a very dangerous time. Our adversaries have weaponized space and are threatening our critical assets, filling themselves with bold confidence to do mischief on a grand scale. Our strategy to deter an attack through resiliency is incomplete. To keep the peace, we also must have a credible space defense. This means the ability to fight back and stop an aggressor. If we don't do this, we tempt and encourage conflict. Yes, that's it, Hired. Yep. Why are our satellites in danger? Oh. China has revealed itself to be an intractable authoritarian government and thus far has proven to be impervious to the democratizing influence of trade and open exchange, using the wealth of trade to build weapons with which to threaten us. Yeah, okay, well, let's... I mean, he's not wrong. China. And it's, yeah, Hired, it's remote controlled and reconfigurable. That space grenade was tested on a suborbital trajectory a couple months ago. It's a cluster bomb. Oh, boy. Fighting in space is not a good idea, but... You make peace in space, not war. Yeah. That sucks. I don't know. Yeah, I'm reading more of this. It's not great. I mean, if we want to get along with somebody else doesn't, I don't know what to tell you, dudes. I don't know what to tell you. Tori Bruno basically goes on to say resiliency is a strategy. Got to be resilient. Using proliferated low Earth orbit constellations helps. Yeah, not great. Anyway, you know what is great? You know what is great? Launching stuff. Not weapons, though. How about How about this? We'll end today's space news with some nice launch coverage, some nice Falcon 9 action, baby. What's flying today? This mission is billed as RRT-1. It's but it's GPS. It's a global positioning satellite. Might be able to catch us from your hotel room in Florida. Nice. But isn't Falcon 9 technically an advanced weapon system? Falcon 9 is no more an advanced weapon system hired than a C-5 Galaxy or a C-17 would be. To be honest, it's just a means of transportation. Spaceflight is a logistics service, just like air mobility. Yeah. Important to understand. Would a Starlink constellation on the moon be useful? Yeah, probably, Bren. But who's working on the lunar communications constellation? It's Intuitive Machines, I think. Went from man to horse to train to car to plane to rocket. What's next? Warp. We need a Zephyrim Cochrane moment. Pogo stick. Yeah, depends on what's being shipped. Have you seen the Rapid Dragon system? I know about that. I was being snarky. You're snark. Snark you.
Nice launch trajectory and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
Here we go.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic. Stage separation confirmed. Drag. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to our live launch coverage of the RRT-1 mission. Falcon 9 is currently awaiting liftoff at 7:51 p.m. Eastern Time from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Hey everyone, my name is Soumi Srivastava, and I'm Structures Engineer here at SpaceX. Today's mission will be SpaceX's 421st overall launch
Nice.
and the 126th Falcon launch of 2024.
126.
It will also be the fourth flight for the first stage booster that is supporting today's mission, which previously launched NASA's Crew 9 and 2 Starlink missions. After separation of the first and second stages, the booster for today's mission will once again head back to Earth, this time targeting a landing on our drone ship, a shortfall of Gravitas, which is currently stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. It's worth noting that, at our customer's request, we'll be ending today's webcast before payload deployment and just after booster landing. So at T-minus 7 minutes and 32 seconds,
It's a long
we're looking
duration
really
flight.
good for an
Yep,
on-time
the
liftoff.
gray band.
The vehicle is healthy, the range is ready to support, and the weather is holding steady, with a 60% possibility of weather-related launch constraints. While we wait, let's meet the vehicle that will be taking RRT-1 to orbit today. Falcon 9 is a two-stage rocket developed and manufactured by SpaceX, known for its safe, reliable, and cost-effective access to space. It's also the first
When are you
and
gonna work on the
currently
Camaro
only
again?
orbital-class rocket that is capable of reflight.
The Camaro's
The two-stage
outside.
Falcon 9
It's kind of shuttered
vehicle
up for
on
the
your
winter.
screen
I
stands
got to bring the
229
Coronet
feet
in
tall.
here, and I got to fix
And
the
when it's fully
59.
fueled, it'll hold just over 1 million pounds of
We
propellant.
can do that sometime this week
And
if you
we
want.
began loading those propellants onto both stages of the vehicle.
This is
at
live, Ghost
T-minus
Mooner, yep.
35 minutes. Starting from the top of the rocket is the payload fairing, which is a protective shell that encases the payload or satellite that's being sent to space. The fairings are made of a carbon composite material and have a 17-foot diameter, which encapsulates enough space to accommodate an average-sized fire truck. The fairing, made up of two halves, will separate and jettison away from the vehicle,
Stage 1
exposing the
RP1 load is
payload
complete.
once Falcon 9 reaches space. Both of the fairing halves supporting today's mission are flight-proven and are flying for their second time. Once jettisoned, those fairing halves will fall back to Earth and splash down in the Atlantic Ocean, where they will be recovered by our fairing recovery ship, Doug.
Doug? 6
The second
minutes.
stage is powered by a single Merlin vacuum engine, or MVAC engine, which is optimized to perform in the vacuum of space. After stage separation, the MVAC engine will ignite and carry the payload to its final orbit. The second stage is connected to Falcon 9's first stage by the black composite inner stage, which houses the MVAC engine and the system that decouples the two stages during stage separation. Below that is the first stage, which is powered by 9 Merlin engines. These 9 Merlin engines
No
provide
stubby
the
nozzle,
initial
Logan, be
thrust to
quiet.
lift Falcon 9 off the ground
Never.
through the lower, thicker part of the atmosphere. There are 8 engines arranged around one center engine and are collectively held in place by a structure called the octaweb. Each of these Merlin 1D engines delivers about 190,000 pounds of thrust at sea level, which gives Falcon 9 a combined 1.7 million pounds of thrust.
Yeah, baby.
Shortly after liftoff, the two stages of Falcon will separate.
Full
Stage
moon.
2 will continue to take the payload to its desired orbit in Stage 1,
Falcon 9 tanks are pressing for Strombeck retract.
and Stage 1, which is also known as the booster,
Look at that
will
moon, dude.
return to Earth for recovery and reuse on a future mission using a combination of the Merlin sea level engines and the 4 titanium grid fins that are located near the top of the booster, which will guide the vehicle during its re-entry and landing. The Falcon 9 first stage is also equipped with 4 landing legs that deploy just before landing and allow for vertical touchdown on a drone ship or a landing
Strombeck
pad.
retract has started.
See, now I'm wondering if the
We just
position
heard
of
that
that
the
moon
Strongback
relative
is
to the
beginning
drone
to
ship means a
retract.
northeast launch. I might be able to see this one. Well, let's see. We'll see from the roll program. Basically, where the rocket turns right after it takes off,
So
we'll
at
see where it
liftoff,
goes.
The transport director will retract in order to clear the way for Falcon 9's ascent. And to prepare for that retraction, we'll see the clamps open around the second stage, and the
Drone
GE
ship?
will pull away in just a little
Not
bit
that type
from
of
the
drone
rocket.
ship. How's cloud cover for you? When I was going to get the Colecos,
Discovery, go at throttle.
Colecos,
So
not
those
that.
are the
When I was going to get the
clamp
Colecos from the front
pulling
door,
away
Tessa,
from
I
the
could
rocket,
see the
and
moon,
then
so
the Strongback
it's
will
definitely
begin to
clear.
pull away
I could
from
see
the
it
vehicle.
poking through the trees. Serious moonlight? Yes. Under the
So at this point in the countdown, both the
serious
first and second stages
moonlight.
are almost fully
Wait.
loaded with 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen. The first stage and second stage should finish loading
No,
propellant
Hired,
about
not
a
at
minute
all.
apart from each other. The first stage finishing up at T-minus 3 minutes in a few seconds from now, and the second
Is
stage
this payload
at
going to
T-minus
medium Earth
2
orbit?
minutes.
Yes. Yes, global positioning satellites are in MEO. They're in a semi-synchronous orbit. So half the distance to GEO.
The white clouds you see around the vehicle are formed as the chilled gas above the LOX tank liquid
What do you
surface
got, weather guy?
vents overboard to maintain pressure in the tank as needed. And when the gas comes out into the warmer Floridian air, it condenses the water in the air and forms those clouds that you are seeing on your screen.
It's gonna be close.
After the second stage is fully loaded, we will come up on...
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
So we just heard the call out for Stage 1 LOX load.
The ISS is in
completion,
low Earth orbit,
and
Xanax.
Stage 2...
So, for
we will be
instance,
hearing-
a semi-synchronous orbit is 12,000 miles, 12,500 miles that way. The ISS is 370 miles that way. Or 270 miles, excuse me. 270 miles, or about 400 kilometers. The ISS is up there. T-minus 2 minutes.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
And we just heard
You
a
say
good call out
titanium
there.
instead of
The
titanium.
payload continues to be healthy, and the Falcon 9 team is tracking no issues on the rocket.
Yes. No.
So at T-minus 1 minute and 45 seconds to liftoff, let's listen in as we hear the series of callouts that lead up to launch.
Okay. So there's the 2-minute vent right there. They're evacuating all of the cold propellants out of the strongback.
Ground gas closeouts.
There's the ground gas closeout. They're evacuating all the propellants out of there because you want your rocket to catch on fire down the bottom. You don't want your pad catching on fire, so they vent it all
That
overboard.
white cloud from venting the TE LOX line is completely normal.
Falcon 9 should go into startup in T-minus 5 seconds. Should hear a call for startup from the launch director here.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
There we go.
Good callouts and indicating that Falcon 9 is now operating on its internal flight computers.
Go for launch.
Launch director reports
So at
go.
T-minus 42 seconds, all systems are go for the launch of today's mission. Let's sit back and watch.
This is Falcon 9.
T-minus 30 seconds.
30 seconds. This is a global positioning satellite, guys. It's billed as the RRT-1 mission. It's a global positioning satellite.
15 seconds.
Sound suppressing
T-minus
is
10,
on.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Ignition.
2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power and lift off.
Okay.
Go Falcon, go RRT-1.
RRT-1 is flying on this beautiful Florida evening here.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Oh, something came off there.
Stage 1 propulsion
Looked
is
like
nominal.
ice. Good call for stage 1 propulsion. The next call here in the next 20 seconds should be a call for power and telemetry before they approach maximum dynamic pressure.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Space Launch Complex 4E
Yep.
at Cape Canaveral Space
Northeast
Force
trajectory.
Station. During ascent, we tilt or gimbal the engines, and that turns the rocket
Yeah,
horizontally.
the moon. Yeah,
in a maneuver
I was
known
gonna
as
say
a
the
gravity
moon
turn.
low on
We're
the
still going
horizon
up, but now
northeast.
we're
This
also
thing's
heading
going
horizontally
northeast.
away from the launch pad.
If anybody's on the
Moments
East
ago, we
Coast,
throttled
Power and telemetry nominal.
if anyone's on the East Coast, there's the call for power and telemetry. A little late, but if anybody's on the East Coast near the coastline, you should, and it's not cloudy, you should be able to see it.
Falcon 9 is now
Weather's
supersonic.
okay. All right, so
Max Q is
at
a critical moment during
T plus
flight
6 minutes,
because
I'm
the
gonna go
combined stresses
outside
caused by
and take a
Falcon
look.
9 accelerating through the atmosphere and the ambient static pressure are at their greatest.
Yep,
Max Q.
maximum dynamic pressure.
And we are now at max Q, and the rocket typically needs to go about 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid
23,500
being pulled
kilometers
back
an
down
hour.
to Earth and get into orbit. You can track our progress to orbit by keeping an eye on the stage 1 telemetry in the bottom corner of your screen.
Yeah.
Evac shell started.
Now we
Yeah,
have
Dukas, it'd
several
be low on
events
the
coming up
horizon for
in
you.
quick succession. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, stage separation, second engine start 1, or SES1, and fairing separation. Main engine cutoff, or
Okay,
MECO, is
Procyon.
where all 9 Merlin 1D engines shut down to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, which is where the first stage separates from the second stage. Followed by this, the MVAC engine on the second stage will light,
Laxter, you
which is
probably
called
want like
out
4 or
as
5 minutes,
second
dude.
engine start 1, or SES1. This
Would it be
engine
more visible
burn
inland
lasts
because of
being
the
several minutes will propel the
unusual
second
because of
stage
MEO?
and the payload to orbit. And in addition to
It depends
these
if it's
3 major
direct
events, the
insertion,
fairing
Bill,
house
or
will separate shortly
you know,
after SES1, so keep an eye out for all of those
circularization.
events coming up in just a few seconds.
Okay, should be getting up on main engine cutoff here.
Main engine cutoff.
Okay, and
Stage separation confirmed.
yeet! Upper stage ignition,
Evac ignition.
green flash.
And there you
Good
heard,
ignition.
and maybe just even saw those events that happened back to back, which again were MECO,
The beautiful
stage
shot
sep,
of the Florida
and
coast there.
SES1. And just as a reminder, we will not have any stage 2 views today following stage separation, and the remainder
There's
of our
Tampa
webcast will follow
over
Falcon-
there.
the
There's
Falcon
Orlando.
booster
There's Daytona
returning to
Beach.
Earth.
You can see Tampa Bay from here. See it? That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Next up will be fairing separation.
That's the
about 10
Floridian
seconds.
Peninsula right there. You can see all the way down to... Yeah, I don't know. That's the Bahamas right there. Holy cow. Look at that.
Bearing separation confirmed.
Man, this picture is poop.
Good call out there for confirmation of fairing separation. And as I mentioned earlier, we will be attempting to retrieve these fairing halves again, today using our recovery
Yeah.
vessel Doug once they fall back to Earth.
It looked like maybe been Miami down there. I'm pretty good at
It's about 2
GeoGuessr,
plus
Rash.
4
Yeah.
minutes and 3 seconds
Maybe we should
into
play
today's mission.
GeoGuessr.
At the T
sometime.
plus 6 minute and 12 second
You got the
mark,
rumble
we
all the way in
expect to have
Cocoa
some great
Beach. Yeah,
views
baby.
Of the first stage entry burn. And for the
Slackster,
entry burn,
I'd go
we
outside
relight
now.
3 of the M1D engines on the first stage, starting with the center E9 engine, followed shortly after by the E1 and E5
It's a
engines.
globe. No
This
stage
helps
2
slow
views at
down the
all.
vehicle as it
Yeah,
passes back into
whatever
the
RRT1
denser, lower
is,
atmosphere.
perhaps.
We need to slow it down to reduce re-entry forces, which ultimately helps us recover and reuse the first stage.
Even the first stage camera is all screwed up.
During
It's
the
usually
entry
not
burn,
this
Falcon 9
staticky,
is
guys.
decelerating by firing its Merlin engines, but we're still moving really fast. And this causes the vehicle to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases, or its plume.
Do you think SpaceX could
and
use a
this
Falcon 9
deposits a
second stage
layer
as a
of soot on the
kickstage on
vehicle
Starship, or
surface,
focus
which
on
is
working
why
with
our
Impulse for
vehicles
those sorts of missions?
look the way they do.
Impulse, Raymond, but
That soot comes from the
refueling is really
carbon-based
what's
fuel
going to
that
make
Falcon 9
Starship do
uses.
its thing. But I would say Impulse would probably be better because of propellant standardization. Impulse is making Methalox upper stages, if I'm remembering correctly. It's in low light mode. Oh, okay. Small chance I see this in Battleship Cove? Yeah, Eric, you might. Yeah, dude. Of course, if it's not cloudy.
On second thought, we might not have
Yeah.
great views of entry burn, but hopefully we do. Reusability is key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, which enables more investment in critical scientific research. The Falcon 9 first stage that is supporting today's mission is flying for its 4th time. And while this booster is on its 4th trip to and from space, we're working towards qualifying our fleet of Falcon boosters and fairings to support 40 missions each.
Should be coming up on supersonic retro propulsion here.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS has safed.
There we go. Supersonic
And
retro
there
propulsion.
You can see the entry bird. I'm glad we had
The
a
best
great
part.
view.
Probably not long, Brandon. What that's doing right there is slowing down the first stage, obviously, but that's also protecting it from re-entry heating.
Stage 1 entry burn.
The gases coming out of the engines, the way they propagate,
call out
basically
there
works
for the
exactly
end of
like a
entry
heat
burn.
shield.
As you
And
can
it
see on
protects
your
it from
screen,
that.
The telemetry on the bottom left-hand corner indicates
some
that
plasma
the first
propagation
stage
right
is
there.
Slowing down.
All right, I'm going to go outside and look. Enjoy the landing, guys. I'll be right back.
Next up, in about a minute, we will have the landing burn. The Merlin engines on the Falcon first stage are optimized for sea level, and these achieve about 190,000 pounds of thrust during ascent and entry. And while it won't be visible on this webcast, the single MVAC engine on the second stage has a much wider nozzle and is optimized to operate in space, producing 220,500 pounds of thrust in vacuum.
Stage 2.
1 transonic.
Stage 2 is internal guidance.
Good callouts there for stage 2. So coming up in under 30 seconds, we will have the landing burn of the first stage. And the landing burn is the final burn of the Falcon 9 booster that is used to reduce the remaining speed of the vehicle in order to allow for a soft
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
touchdown on the drone ship.
back shutdown.
Stage 1, landing leg deploy.
Great view of our drone ship, a short
Terminal
fall
park orbit
toss.
insertion.
And there you saw and heard
Stage 1, landing confirmed.
the successful landing of our Falcon 9 rocket. This mission marks SpaceX's 126th successful Falcon launch of 2024, and the booster's landing marks SpaceX's 383rd recovery of an orbital class rocket. As a reminder, this was the 4th launch and landing for this first stage. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, we'll be ending today's live coverage before payload deployment. So with a successful booster landing, that wraps up our coverage
No,
for...
no, I want to see it. No, I want to see it. Instant replay. Guys, I was thinking about it. If this is a MEO insertion, it's 27 degrees inclined, so it basically went straight east. It didn't go northeast trajectory. It may have gone slightly northeast, but
Great view of our drone ship, a
dude,
short
look at
fall
that.
Park
toss.
orbit insertion.
Good park. Yeah,
And there you
baby.
saw and heard
Stage 1, landing confirmed.
the successful landing of our Falcon 9 rocket.
Cool. Dude, I just came back and saw that. They showed mission control. 6 people. Dude's waving. We got raided by Terra. What is it with me getting up and walking away and stuff happening on stream while I'm not here? That's happened like 3 times today, dude. What the heck? Should I... Like, maybe something cool will happen if I, jet. But yeah, guys, now that I was thinking about it, it probably launched due east, geo. But, well, no, that's not right. GPS is 45 degrees inclined. Hold on. Kowalski, analysis. "53 degrees inclined." Yeah, we could have seen it. Yeah, I was right. We could have seen it, but no. Too many clouds. That's what the Global Positioning Satellite System, GPSS, or Navstar for short. That's what it is. Believe it or not, Navstar is a product of Navy defense spending. Not a lot of people know that. That's why it's called Navstar. The Navy was the first one. The Navy and the U.S. Space Command were the ones that came up with this. The reason why? They wanted the ability to be able to track their ships wherever they were. In real time. You could see exactly where your entire Navy was. That's the whole idea. That's why it's called Navstar. Yeah, not a lot of people know that. And then we were like, wait. We could just lower the fidelity of the tracker and then just sell this as a satellite tracking technology, and that's how you got satellite navigation. Yep. It didn't look northeast at all. Yeah, we did see the Bahamas, so it may have been southeast, but... Anyway, that was the GPS 3 SV10 and RRT, whatever. Update on the mysterious RRT-1 launch. It's suspected that this is the launch of GPS-3 SV10, and that RRT stands for Retro-Reflective Target 1. Given that GPS-3 SV10 is hosting a laser reflector array for NASA, launch is set for December 14th. Yep. Yeah. So, on paper, it's RRT, but that was GPS-3 SV10. Space Vehicle 10. They just didn't call it that for some reason. But, yeah. It's crazy how much war drives innovation. Pop, in high school, I don't know about you guys, but in high school, we had to write a thesis paper. You had to write a thesis paper in style of like a proper college level thesis. That's what we did my junior year in high school. Guess what I wrote mine on? Defense spending positives. I aced it. Dude, the funny thing is that I didn't do very well in school. Just on a side note, I slacked off in school, straight up. Slacked off a lot. Yeah, a lot. I did anything that I had to do to get by because I wanted to go home and play video games. Whoops. Probably shouldn't do that. It's only your future, right? Whatever. But when this junior thesis came along that we had to do, you could write it about whatever you want. So I wrote it about defense spending. I cited Navstar, the internet, the DARPANet, let's see, what else? Atomic research for nuclear power plants. I aced it. I aced it so hard they thought I copied somebody. Yeah. They were like, why? Okay, who did you copy? I'm like, nobody. You're a slacker, McFly. Your dad was a slacker too. Yep. Yeah, fall, something like that. This, keep in mind, this was like in 2004 though, so it's it was a hot minute ago. All right, Electron, see you later. Also, nice shirt. Thank you. See you, buddy. Jazzo's had a 53-month resub, and Tara, thank you very much for the raid. Do appreciate it, man. Old alert. Yeah, exactly, Raiden. That's exactly how that went down. They were like, who'd you plagiarize? I'm like, nobody. You can quiz me on that information right now. And they did. And I knew it cold because it's me. Probably should have taken a hint from that now that I'm thinking about it. I probably should that, you know, like. Schoolwork is really interesting to smart people. Yeah, is it a B-17G or F? G. Front chin turret. It's a B-17G. My junior research paper was on freaking poetry. Yeah, I wrote mine. Yeah, I remember arguments for the positives of Cold War spending. Yep. That's what it was on. Makes sense. I mean, right? Like, look at me. Makes perfect sense. Sounds more like a political science class. You could choose whatever you wanted to write about. So yeah, I aced it. Yeah, they quizzed me on it in class because they were like, they weren't convinced that I wrote it. Quiet, Tara. Writing didn't exist when I was in school. Okay. The best paper I ever wrote was how Elon Musk had the architecture to take over Mars with SpaceX and Tesla. Nice, Cool Tech. There you go. You are too young to know the Cold War. Try me. My paper was that Germany was going to lose World War II with or without Mustache Man. You could certainly make a compelling argument for that guy. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, ye of little faith. Yeah, and then it prompted a whole parent-teacher conference, dude. I remember this whole thing, dude. Yeah, they were like, okay, you wrote that paper. Why don't you just do that every time? And I'm like, yeah, because I don't like this, because you guys suck. And they're like, what? No, you understand if you just did that every time, you could be like an AP student. And I'm like, bro, 3-2 split, dust 2, let's go. Push B. And they're like, all right. Yeah, no, I thought I was being funny at the time. No, yep. The only joke was on me. Oops. Do good in school. That is the reason why Strimmer Man will get up your butt if I figure out you're skipping class. Don't do that, because that's what I did, and not everybody can Twitch stream all day, you know what I mean? What was the most interesting technological breakthroughs? I mean, Squall, the internet. The internet, dude. The internet. So, did you ever go to college? Yes, I did. I have a bachelor's degree in computer animation. I can manipulate CAD systems. Yes. Duck and cover is all you need to know about the Cold War. Take school seriously. That's right. You wrote an insane paper about the Second Chechen War. Yeah, that almost went bad real quick, Surratt. Anyway. So, Squall, the internet, dude. The internet's the biggest one. So, in the 1970s, the U.S. was basically trying to figure something out. Like, they were trying to figure out acceptable losses with mutually assured destruction. Like, okay, where would the Soviets hit the nukes in the United States? And could we coordinate an effective response, what's called a retaliatory strike? It's part of a doctrine that the U.S. had during the Cold War, called there we go. Sorry, I had to remember. It was part of a doctrine that the U.S. had during the nuclear war called the nuclear triad. The nuclear triad was part of what's called the Strategic Air Command, or SAC for short. If you've ever watched the movie War Games, you hear SAC get called all the time. Get SAC on the horn. That's the Strategic Air Command. So SAC is in charge of the nuclear triad. Well, partially in charge of the nuclear triad. I mean, they kind of have overview over the whole thing. But long story short, that is it. They are in charge of first strike nuclear weaponry and retaliatory strike nuclear weaponry in three forms, which is why it's called the nuclear triad. Submarines, so ballistic missile submarines. So I present to you the ballistic missile submarine, Red October. Most navies around the world nowadays, Squall, field two types of submarines. You have ballistic missile submarines, or boomers, which are the ones that can basically eliminate all living things on this planet. We have some, the Russians have some, the Chinese have some of those, Europe has a couple of those, etc., etc. But those are few and far between. The vast majority of submarines that you find floating around today are, they're called attack submarines. So like Los Angeles class, Virginia class, stuff like that. So you have boomers and attack submarines. The boomers are the ones that have the big death things inside. Sorry. Anyway, so we apologize for the threat of nuclear deterrence. Those have been sacked. Have been sacked. Anyway, so you have the submarines, you have bombers, so B-52s, B-1s, and B-2s, and then you have ICBMs, okay? So, where was I going with this? So how the heck does that have to do with anything with the internet? What does it mean? So, we're thinking, okay, if we get hit with a first strike, so if the Soviets nuke New York and New York doesn't exist anymore, right? Are we able to coordinate an effective response? So what they did was they came up with the idea of using a little bit of logic and telephone lines to start linking together our nuclear retaliatory strike network. DARPA got paid to do that. The Department of Advanced Research Projects, right? So they figured out ways to use the telephone lines, to use a pre-existing bit of infrastructure to start linking things together to make a web of connected sites, connected computers. A web of connected computer, a worldwide web of connected computers. Where do you think they got the name from? So the DARPANet was a way of linking ICBMs and nuclear command and control stations from SAC together to effectively coordinate a retaliatory strike in the event of a nuclear war. Lots of money was spent on this, trying to link all these computers together and come up with the tech to get one computer to talk to another through a network. They started with doing it through a phone line and using the phone lines because the phone lines were already everywhere. Off-the-shelf technology, right? And eventually, those protocols that they came up with are basically how the back end of the entire internet works. Long story short, yeah, the DARPANet evolved into the internet. And it eventually came to a civilian market, mostly in the late 90s. The internet is very good for the civilian market. It's not just a military tech. That was my whole premise for the entire paper. My whole premise for the entire paper is that us basically wanting to coordinate, the U.S. wanting to coordinate a better retaliatory strike capability, right? Basically led to e-commerce. Profitable businesses that are fully remote. like remote work, streaming, stuff like that. It's all because of that. It's all because the Department of Defense wanted to be like, well, what if that command center that controls all the nukes gets blown away? Then what? So yeah, I still know that stuff cold. I did the research on that paper a long time ago. If I skip class to build rockets, is that bad? Yes. Nice weather guy. That's funny. Yeah, I've been on the internet for a long time, Bob. I used 56K back in the day when I was just a wee lad. Yeah, article was a great launch. Yep, good stuff. The interstate system is another good example. Yeah, Squall, that's a big one. The U.S. highway network. You watched Route 154. You watched EJ and Ernok's Excellent Adventure. The entire reason that we can do that with any relative expediency is because the U.S. decided to copy the Autobahns from Germany. Eisenhower, who was a general, he was the supreme leader of the Allied forces in the European theater, looked at Hitler's Autobahns and he's like, oh, that's a good idea. Hitler made the Autobahns as a way to move the military around faster so he could blitz people. And for defense in case we get invaded. Eisenhower saw that when he was during World War II, and he decided, when he became president later in the 50s, that we should do that. Hence the Interstate Highway Act of, 1955, right? The Interstate Highway Act. That was a big deal. It was basically made so the U.S. we could move military anywhere on the lower 48 states, anywhere really, really fast. There's even some provisions put in to make it so in times of war, highways could be used as runways for certain planes. So yeah, they were built, like, it's some real Fallout stuff. But yeah, the interstate highway system generates trillions of dollars in commerce throughout the entire 48, the lower 48 United States. I would contend to say that a train network, a high-speed rail network, would do the same thing, but whatever, it's fine. We've already had that conversation. Do you think Block 2 Super Heavy will have 4 grid fins, or do you think they might switch to 3? I've heard 3, Vargon, but yeah. Oh, yeah. Defense spending is great. Great for innovation. Yeah. I saw that weather guy, yeah. Nice. Yeah, well, I saw it when you said it before. The railway network can't help land planes. That's a good point, Keesus. Yeah. Fallout didn't pull their ideas out of a magic hat. Yep. But the point is that civilians use highways and the internet way more than the military does. Because there's millions of us. Don't get me wrong, the military has a pretty big architecture, but it ain't 350 million. Well, it's 340 million in the US, but you get the idea. Even in the Civil War, they forced the expansion of the railroads. That's a good point, Seacracken. Yeah, Civil War defense spending also developed the meatpacking industry in Chicago. Yeah, the meatpacking industry in Chicago. That was needed to basically support the war effort. And they used the trains to get all the meat there. And that basically started modern food standards for the most part. Yeah. Yep. Here in Germany, there are still some sections of the Autobahn that can be converted into landing strips. Yeah, no, it's honestly a really good idea. Like, I hate that Jackass came up with it, but whatever. It's pretty smart. Most people don't realize how much NASA has benefited us. NASA's huge contribution in the 20th century was the miniaturization of electronics. In order to land somebody on the moon reliably, NASA needed to basically bring the computer with them. that need to bring the computer with them invented basically the first flight-capable digital processor, the Apollo guidance computer. And that basically laid the framework for all modern computing, like from a hardware standpoint. EJ, YF-23 or YF-22? I mean, the F-22, Enzo, because that's what ended up being made. But the YF-23 is pretty cool. Where's that dang picture? I have a picture of a YF-23 on my wall somewhere. It's over there. I don't know, Willie. I can't speak to that. Do you know why the F-22 won? Because it looks cooler. Dude, I firmly believe that sometimes they pick, like in defense contracts, they pick the thing that looks nicer. I'm 100% serious about this. Thoughts on the X-32? I will say this again. I firmly believe that the looks has a lot to do with it. That's where you and I disagree. The YF-23 looks much better. I guess. Isn't that how you pick the project for Satisfactory? Yeah. It's got to look cool, man. I'm serious, dude. The X-32 is outperformed that F-35, the prototype. It outperformed it. It absolutely did. But also, not quite the same, but the subway station, Bonn Central, could be used as a fallout shelter. Yeah, Black Eagle, that's a concept that the Russians ended up doing. The Moscow Metro is like 50 meters below ground on purpose. So it could be used as a fallout shelter. It's a drunk F8. Hi. It's just a happy, chill guy. It's just a happy, chill guy. What about Metro 2? I don't know. Metro 2 doesn't exist. I don't know, man. Probably does. Yeah, I know about that. I know what you're talking about. Chadlington, the plane. So they say. All right, dudes. That was a pretty good space news. We got a rocket launch, talked about a lot of different things. Are we ready for some workers? Metro 2. Hokie, supposedly deeper than the Moscow Metro. In Moscow, there's something called Metro 2. Metro 2 is a subway line that the Soviet Duma, I guess, would take if the poop hit the fan to get the frick out of Moscow. It's something you can supposedly get to really quickly and take really, really quickly out of Moscow before it basically becomes a big crater. Now, once again, that probably exists. That sounds about right. In the event of a nuclear war, you know what's coming, and it's not going to be fun. Probably want to get as far below ground and as fast away from the epicenter as possible. So, yeah. Metro 2 on paper doesn't exist, but also... Yeah, you assume DC has tunnels too? Dude, we definitely have something like that. I mean, dude, look at the Greenbrier. If you guys don't know the story of the Greenbrier is a hotel. Or was a hotel. Here, I'll show you. The Greenbrier is this beautiful resort in West Virginia here. Let me take a look because I typed in the Greenbrier and now Google, because, you know, in their infinite helpfulness, is telling me how to get directions there from my house. Good thing I didn't show that on stream. Really wanted that. Google, thanks. Thank you. So the Greenbrier is this beautiful resort in West Virginia. It's a little ways away from DC, and it's a luxury resort, and it was known for high-class stuff, right? And then in the 50s, they expanded it. In the 50s, they made it bigger. They added in a couple of new wings for it because the, you know, business was booming. It's the 50s, people were driving everywhere, etc., etc. What they didn't tell you is that they built a fallout shelter under one of the wings. Yeah, they built a new wing over here, and they built an entire fallout shelter underneath it. Like, closest thing you're going to get to a vault with false doors, fake doors, stuff like that. Actually super cool. And until some reporter leaked that, some reporter in the 80s leaked what it was, and it, hello? Hey. They found out that that expansion was actually just a cover. They built an entire bunker to support the entirety of Congress underneath it. There's an entire Capitol building built underneath that. Yeah. Hey, Taito. Hello, buddy. It's the Popper Cam. Hello. What's that? What's that, buddy? Bug of salt. Titan wants to sniff the turbo. Turbo Titan? You want to sniff the turbocharger? Nope, there's no food in there.
You sure?
Yep. No turbocharger for you.
Usually when Mom comes to the box, it's because she put food in there.
He is now digging into the turbo box. But yeah, there's an entire Capitol building underneath the Greenbrier. Mm-hmm.
Naito Bear!
Like that. So yeah, that is basically an entire, they built an entire Capitol building underneath there. There's enough under there to support Congress for like the entirety of US Congress for like, I don't know, a couple months. Yeah, they built that in plain sight. Nobody realized what was going on.
Get out of there! Is there any dangerous?
Yeah, there's a turbocharger.
Okay, but he can't eat the turbocharger.
There's Clicos in there too. We
Oh.
should probably.
Okay.
Come on, buddy. All right. There's no food in there, dude.
But what if I want it there?
He craves this. Is that a turbo for your lawnmower? No. It's just a turbo.
Hey, bud. Out of the box. Come on. Thank you.
Get out of there.
I have food in there. Taito! Boxes don't just inherently have treats, you know. We have to work for that. You want to come outside?
Leak supersonic retropropulsion is how they figured it out. Yep. All right, baby.
Beepy.
Okay. We'll take a nap.
Oh,
Then fire the missiles.
I already
Oh,
I
wow.
should not have taken.
Whoops. All right, baby.
Oh, you.
Love you. So yeah, dude, there was like, it's an entire fallout shelter for Congress. Yeah. The guy, it leaked because some guy Freedom of Information Act acted stuff. And then like, that's one of the false walls and stuff. See? And basically, when it leaked, they decommissioned it because why would you put people there now that everybody knows it's there? I'm serious. There's both the upper and lower houses of Congress. It was designed to support all of Congress. Decommission that, commission a new one. They didn't commission a new one as far as I can tell. So it was all for nothing. Yeah, that reporter in the name of transparency probably cost the taxpayers billions of dollars. Oops. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had more stuff like that. That's just one thing. That's just a glimpse. Dude, there's probably an entire city underneath Washington, D.C., man. No new airport or anything. Maybe. Maybe not. They just traveled through the Stargate at Cheyenne Mountain. Correct. Anyway. All right, dudes. That's going to do it for space news. I'd say let's switch over to workers now, huh? So you guys know the drill. We are going to... with all the conspiracy theories flying around, we'd never know. Hiding in plain sight is the best way to conceal something, Aqualex. It's just how it is, man. Hide in plain sight. But they still can't find Jimmy Hoffa. That's what they want you to believe. Shut up, goalie. Obel, 12 monthly sub. Hope you guys enjoyed that space news. You guys know the drill. I'm going to jog the VOD over on the YouTube side of things. Give me a couple minutes here to do that, and we'll start up workers momentarily. Be right back.